So here's hoping that my recording equipment still works, because you never know with these things. Anyway, welcome back for more Virtua-On MARZ. And I'm trying to think about how to go about this, because the first part was literally just me gushing over this game, or gushing over the series as a whole. and I'm thinking like, oh no, like I don't think people want to hear all that. People just want to hear the boring stuff, like, you know, me talking about how to play this game that nobody plays. So first things first, I did have to switch difficulties because I did discover that talking while recording is a pain in the butt. And I'll say this much: after the first set of stages, the game just starts playing hardball from this point. And the difficulty never stops rising. This is the type of game where the difficulty never stops rising. There's no real cutoff point where it's like, oh well, this is where the game gets like incredibly hard and then like everything else just gets super easy. No, everything just keeps going up in difficulty for this game. So trying to talk and, well, people don't notice, trying to do commentary and play a game at the same time is essentially a skill that a person will probably never develop. I mean, have you seen people do live commentary and play the game at the same time? Like, have you seen those people? It doesn't really work out. So the only thing that you probably might think would work out is probably like a fighting game streamer or a fighting game player, where everything every combo they do is autopilot. But that's because they practice everything, and there's rarely an occurrence where they just go like, oh crap, I'm getting beat up. Usually, if they're gonna get beat up, they're gonna get like, if they're getting whooped, they're getting whooped. Like, for those guys, they're autopilot. They're essentially an autopilot because they practice the combos that they're doing. So they can easily just talk and like play the game. Kind of like talking and driving in certain cases. But maybe that's a bad comparison, because driving is really dangerous and you should be paying full attention to what you're doing and try not to distract yourself, while gaming isn't so much. Anyway, so the next section of this game will be on, I believe, Jupiter. We're going to Jupiter, people. Yeah. Can you believe it? We're going to Jupiter. Oh god, I'm remembering that stupid jump rope thing. So we get to see this cool launching sequence, which is pretty.
Intensifies.
Which, I mean, give us a. I mean, like, if you love Super Robot anime, like, you kind of like, this is probably one of those things that you love to see. Maybe
buried under the moon gate and all throughout the solar system. The gate to meta cyberspace was opened. VCA-6. Mankind sought after the
Jupiter crystals.
In retaliation, the war crystals, Ajim and Garen,
and those things.
Their material.
Yeah, they put Ajim and Garen in the game, which those were characters. Those were actually secret boss characters in
VCA
and Oratorio Tangram. Well, Ajim was. I don't know about Garen. I think maybe she was like the secret boss in like the earlier version. But Ajim is a secret boss in Oratorio Tangram, which you have to go through like this overcomplicated setup to unlock, to even fight and unlock. And I can see some of the stars moving like at different frames. But you fight him, and he essentially just pops in like Akuma does in Street Fighter. Like, you just go like, "Hi, I'm here. Now die." And that's exactly what Ajim is. And then when you play as him, it's random. When you play as him, it's kind of random as to whether or not he'll be good or bad. Because he's kind of, it's like his power settings are generally random. You can raise them, you can raise it and lower it, but it's again random. And all the effects he does is like are just insane. So if you ever actually met one in the Dreamcast, or if you ever actually fought against Ajim in the Dreamcast, or the remade Xbox, well, the re-released Xbox 360/PS3 port of Oratorio Tangram, congratulations, you managed to win. You fought a difficult boss and won. If not, well, I pray you never saw him, because that guy is a nightmare. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, the Ziggurat, that boss that we fought in the last video. But we're going to Jupiter instead of still searching Mars, which is the area that we essentially have authority over.
You'll be joined by Sgt.Hatter.
But hey, we got Sgt.Hatter on our team. And let me tell you, Sgt.Hatter plays this game very differently from everyone else. So I'm gonna switch VRs because we don't need this guy yet. So who should I show off this time? I don't know what the difference was for Special Forces. Because this game, like, if you haven't noticed, this game has a lot of 10 gems. And it has a love boner for 10 gems for some reason. But not everyone else. See? 10 gems. Here's my favorite. Now, I am missing a version of this, but that version is incredibly hard to get. Now, let's see. What should I show off? The Vox Dan Special Force. See? They got it. This is also a different guy that they also incredibly nerfed, because this guy pretty much has missiles and guns up the wazoo, and even has a mini nuke, has mini nukes and an actual nuke. He had one, but he doesn't have it in this version. And then they just decided, like, you know what, let's just make variations of the same guy, along with Grease Fox. Let's just make different variations of the same this guy to have like different weapons and whatnot. So this one has a claw and a what do you call that weapon? A mace. And then you have Jane. Claw and chainsaw, as you can see. I can't rotate it here. I don't want to. I'm trying to figure. And there are just some that completely suck. As you can see from the stats, you have no reason to pick this. You have absolutely no reason to pick this thing. Unless you're just one of those people that's like, oh, I'm going to do a run using this guy. Good luck to you. You'll probably get a lot of YouTube viewers doing it. So here we have the farm, which is essentially what Sgt.Hatter is, but there is a Sgt.Hatter version. There used to be exactly two versions of the farm, which they called a farm the battler and a farm the striker. A farm the striker if I'm recalling this right, is the type that has more long range, but is also able to fight at short range, which is essentially what farms are meant to do. They excel at close range combat and have limited long range abilities, but they can fight. And here is the, I believe this is the striker, because this one has the combat knife. And then we have more farms, because why not? You know, it's kind of glad that we have multiple versions of the same guy, but at the same time. And I should mention that we will be seeing this thing soon. And hey, we have a farm, the Hatter, which is what our partner is going to be. You'll be seeing that soon. You will be seeing that much later. And I guess Sega figured that Fei-Yin was broken back in Oratorial Tangram so much that they decided to make this version as a, hey, we nerfed her. She's still pretty good, but yeah, they nerfed her. They nerfed this guy too. They nerfed this guy too. I mean, this is one of my, all the VRs are pretty cool. And they nerfed this guy. They nerfed her as well. They nerfed Angeline. This thing, I believe, came from the first game. This guy, I believe, came from the first game. The very first one. And I believe we're back at the Timjins. So, I showed off one version of Timjin. Or maybe two. Or three. So let me show my favorite version. The 747H2. Which, it's just basically Timjin, but he has guns. And see? And we get to watch our cool launch sequence.
Mothership Eiderstar. The lead ship of the Force Strike Fleet engages the retroconvert position.
Don't vibrate, controller. Alright.
Overwhelming odds.
And of course, we have our anime title cards. So as you can see here, that was my previous rank on this. We're probably not going to reach that. Good.
One of the doors must lead inside. Keep going.
I don't remember the direction, but I know I lose points if I pick the wrong one. And he's just gonna go. Okay, I picked the right one. Like, if you pick the wrong one, Hatter will go like, damn it! It's like, we'll just have to pick a different direction. Alright. And that's Hatter getting knocked off. The problem with Hatter is that he's strictly close range. Now, if you pick the wrong direction, like I said, Hatter goes, damn it!
Grows.
Goes like, damn it, and we'll have to find a different, we have to find the right way. Yeah, I wasn't going to get the highest score as I did before, because I took damage, and I'm, like, generally, you just want to run this with a certain VR. Or just be better skilled. Either way.
RNA, the force behind the Jupiter Zone opposition, whose dislike of Mars is growing.
Wonder why they dislike us. What else?
They formed an illegal alliance with DNA in the Martian zone, and are now more powerful than we estimated. I don't have to remind you how critical this is. Get in there and cause some havoc. Hopefully, you'll flush out the underground supporter.
So this is kind of a base battle. This is kind of a base battle. We're essentially gonna fight and advance. Like, we're gonna fight and just like keep advancing forward after beating like a set of enemies.
Carnage.
I believe that's what this battle is, considering the arena.
Get ready.
Yeah, it's not this one. Ow! Why ain't you watching my back, man? Yeah, that Specialist used to be broken.
Destroy the RNA units and enter the
So,
corridor.
I think one thing I should talk about is the control scheme for this game. There is a problem with the control scheme with this game, and there is a reason why they tried to correct it. So, as you know, well, if you haven't noticed, or if you don't know, Virtua-On uses a twin stick system. And and basically what that means is that like you're using two sticks to basically fire use the left stick to fire your right weapon. Well, the left stick to fire your left weapon, and the right stick to fire your right weapon. And you have a left turbo and a right turbo. And you move forward, in what is more or less tank controls in their way, because you could turn by like shifting the sticks and like either up or down. And you move forward by just like holding them both forward and whatnot. Problem is that you can't really emulate that on a PlayStation controller. You couldn't even emulate that really on a Dreamcast controller. So their solution to that problem is that they have what you see here is an auto setting. Simplify control with AI support. And I'm turning vibration off because that's going to get on my nerves. So what they did is they basically gave us the ability to, they just basically gave it to us like, okay, we're going to give you this kind of controls, and that way you won't have too much of a problem. You won't have too much of a problem playing the game. Now, if I decided to go with edit, that's with AI support on. I wish it would stop turning on the... This is the oratorial tangram settings. The thing is that it is kind of better sometimes to just set yourself to have the turn options. Sometimes it's better to have that setting of like just turn off AI support, because there's some battles that will really get on your nerves. There are some battles that will really get on your nerves. And the simplified AI control support, well, if you notice, it tends not to use my left weapon, which is usually the bomb, because there's generally no real use for the bomb in a lot of cases. The bomb is essentially to get people out from hiding behind cover, but your center attack or heavy attack usually does that job too. So why not use that? The other thing is that you don't really have access to all your special moves with AI support going. And special moves are still in this game. They're just, like, it's harder to do because you're on a PlayStation controller. Can you imagine doing some of the moves? There's also the other thing is that there's a ton of different move sets for Virtuoids. Because you have left weapon, right weapon, center weapon, then you have the turbo versions of those weapons, then you have like, oh, well, press this and down, and you'll get this version.
By assisting them in the Jupiter Zone, the Force will give us valuable information about the enemy. With the help of Amber 4, you should be able to locate Sylvie Fang, the leader.
Oh, this is battle. Alright, so, we're going to switch VRs. I'm going to switch VRs here, because this battle not only determines how things in the future will play out, but this battle is hard.
That is all. Dismissed.
This battle is hard. Contact the Rose Sisters. The Rose Sisters are pretty famous. Or infamous. Good, we're on 747, huh? So, I'll try to explain this battle as best I can as we're going through it. But essentially, we might lose Hatter. We might lose Sgt.Hatter because, well, yeah. But just to let you know ahead of time, we might lose Sgt.Hatter as our assistant.
A gift from 3 roses.
But they do have a pretty kick-butt song.
I'm Sylvie Fang.
Deborah Bite. I'm Jennifer Poison.
And you're our guest.
Careful. You can't trust these sisters.
Watch your tongue.
What did you say? Oh no.
Can't trust us? If they weren't sent by Lord Amber, I'd...
Uh-oh. Hatter!
We can take them.
Hatter! Why you have to go and open your mouth?
Fighting?
So, this is a hard fight. 3 against 2, or really 3 against 1.
Get ready.
This is what happens if you take too long.
I'll take out the rude one.
Sounds good. What?
And that kill I just got doesn't matter now.
Done. I'm back.
Because they're all back alive again. Sgt.Hatter's craft has been disabled. I'm sorry.
Sgt.Hatter's craft has been disabled.
you just little. I was like, oh, Hatter's dead. Yeah, you cannot revive Hatter. Now it's just one-on-one, lady. So, yeah. Let me explain as soon as this cutscene's over.
Deborah, Jennifer, let's go. We'll finish this later.
Sorry, I have a bit of a sniffles today.
Lord Amber was right. Here, take this.
This will come in handy
You
later.
trusted us with it.
This will come in handy
Sure
much
how it
later.
works.
And it'll actually save me a lot of stress.
Pissed me off.
what is called a diamond fragment. Diamond, mystery of the moon. You must listen to my riddles.
That wasn't much of a riddle. That wasn't much of a riddle as much as a cryptic hint, as much as you don't make sense.
A mysterious present. What is this fragment?
So, if I recall correctly, there are quite a few things that happen with this fight. That happen due to the outcome of this fight. And I used to repair this, so my score got cut. Yeah, I used to be good at this. As you can see, I got a double S on it last I played. So you acquired a diamond fragment. Alright. So I'm gonna let me take a moment here to explain this. So, first off, that battle, you can actually lose it. You can actually lose it and continue. Which, if you do not get the diamond fragment, which makes things a bit harder, actually makes things a lot harder later on in the game. And you lose Sgt.Hatter anyway. I've read in someone's walkthrough on game FAQs that you can kill them before Sgt.Hatter, before they go all in on Sgt.Hatter. I have never managed to pull it off. I have never seen a YouTube video do it. So if there is a video of that happening, someone show me. The other thing that this also determines is where you will go in the next arc of the story. Because after we're done here, you will either go to the moon or you will go to Earth. And I believe because I defeated them, we end up going to the moon first. Well, yeah, that fight is hard because it is essentially that is one of those where the game difficulty skyrockets, and that's one of the hardest fights in the game because you're fighting against 3 enemies and they essentially know how to play. So the only strategy I have for that fight, which you may have you generally saw me do it, is to switch targets, to constantly cycle through targets so that they're essentially more or less confused as to who I'm targeting. Because usually if I just focus on one, they just keep dodging my attacks and I'm just like, okay, I have to wait for them to make a mistake, which they usually don't. And it takes quite a bit for them to actually make a mistake. So yeah, fights like those are rough. Anyway, we lost Sgt.Hatter. And he actually died this time, which is a surprise. Also in that fight, you cannot heal Sgt.Hatter. When they start attacking him, you can't heal him. Because they'll be like, oh, well, he's taken too much damage and he cannot be healed. Like he took severe damage somewhere. So you have to essentially kill all 3 of them before that allotted time limit, which I can never seem to do, and I think I actually did almost manage that once, but then they ended up getting pissed off when I got to the last one, and they were like, okay, screw this, we're gonna kill Hatter. They all revived, and I was like, oh, well, I have to attack them anyway. Well, I have to fight all 3 anyway. So yeah, that sucks. Moving on, because we're gonna replace Hatter because we ain't really got much of a choice.
With the injuries he sustained, Sgt.Hatter won't be able to help you until he recovers.
I'll be joining you.
So we get another farm. We just replace him.
There is a heavy concentration of RNA units.
The reason why like Sgt.Hatter is pretty famous, he does make an appearance in, I believe, Super Robot Wars Alpha 3 as a playable character, and he's more vocal in that game than he is on here. Surprise, surprise. Because like that was one of the special things also about Sgt.Hatter, is that essentially he's supposed to make quotes of famous Sega things, of famous Sega games. Like one of his quotes is actually that you can rarely get from this game, is he'll go, "Rolling Stones," which I think you guys know what that game is from, where that comes from. If you don't, it's also the same game that goes game over, yeah. So Daytona, USA. That's one of his famous quotes.
They're not responding to hails. It's time to use less diplomatic methods.
I believe he also quotes Sonic. I don't know what his quote from Sonic is though. Like he quotes a lot of famous Sega stuff, and I think he quotes Segata Sanshiro. I'm not entirely sure. I think he quotes him though, but don't. I'm not sure because it's rare to get the quotes out of him. Time to use less diplomatic methods.
You're in for a tough fight, so remember to stay focused. Go get him.
Secure RNA's base. So this is what a base battle is. As it says here, each area has its own time limit. You don't really need to worry about the time limit because whatever. I don't know what the special forces have. Like, every VR has a special thing about it. I just don't remember what exactly. Another thing is that
Eternal fight.
I do remember seeing on either Amazon or eBay, there was a Temjin model that you could build that looked nothing like these. I think it was like a samurai version of Temjin. And I was trying to get it, but I could never afford it. Ow. Slap me, dude. Yeah, it was like this one said no time limit.
Eliminated.
So it was like, oh, well, you eliminated the enemy force. Let me go pick up the, It's kind of hard to turn around in this game.
Get ready.
Oh, say jump. That's another good thing about
Enemy
the auto
force
controls
eliminated.
is that you do an auto
Advance
block.
immediately.
You will auto block physical attacks if you're not pressing anything. More deltas.
Get ready.
I forgot what they were called in Oratorial Tangram. They all had code names. I don't know if we got that kill.
Enemy force eliminated.
Get ready.
Ow. Okay. Okay. I don't know how my bomb didn't land.
Enemy force eliminated.
If I ever set up the stream again, I need to get the sound effects from this game. It knocked him out. It knocked out my partner.
Get ready.
We finally made it. Don't worry about the fortune of this. Take out the Virtuoids first. Nice job.
Oh yeah, because we're on their side of the base, we also get shot at by the security system. That was mine?
Victory was secured, but the mystery remained.
You make for such a good anime narrator. Imagine if he was like the narrator for Gundam.
Warning.
I probably had like 2 more stages before the boss.
Our research indicates that the Daimon fragment shares similarities with the V crystals. To continue our research, you will collect visual data from the Jupiter crystals.
Yeah, visual data. That's why you put the warning out.
Ajim and Gerlin indicates elevated Jupiter crystal activity. They're extremely dangerous, and if you encounter them, you can expect a conflict.
And if you encounter them. So, I need to get off Special Forces. because this fight is a little bit rough, to say the least. Let's go with the H2. A. I think I should be fine with this.
Crystal Dream.
Good episode name.
Warning. Warning. Warning.
So we made a blast from the past. It's Ajim, everybody, and his girlfriend. Which you, I bet you have a hard time reading Gerlain's name.
Get ready.
The war crystals have appeared.
Oh yeah, and the frame rate drops because they're attacked. So now that they're half health, their attacks are going to change up, and it's going to be a lot more dangerous. As you can see. And the frame rate drops because why not? And my partner's in trouble. He's probably gonna die. If he dies, that's also one of the partner mechanics. He's dead. Wait, they're not dead. They have magic pixel. I was like, oh, okay. Now, if this was more anime, my main character would probably be talking a lot more. But what the heck? Tangram! Oh no!
Jupiter crystal vanished.
Mars, your meddling is most unwelcome. Better run along now.
Oh no! A mysterious enemy. Who could that have been? And why did the J crystals disappear? Now the thing is that you probably don't even know who the heck they're referring to. Or any of this is referring to. Like if you're a first time player of Virtua-On, or you just never really paid attention to the story. Yeah. I mean, imagine trying to make sense of this. So yeah, that pretty much ends the Jupiter chapter of this game. So in the next part, it will either be we're going to Earth, which is going to be hell. Earth is going to be hell for me, or we're going to the moon, which is also going to be hell for me. Either way, we're going to end up. Either way, the difficulty is going to rise up again, and things are going to get even more crazier. But we're going to see some cool stuff as well. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, I am Brad Reedy Gaming Mole, signing off. Thank you for watching. If you got this far, no, I'm not even gonna say that. I don't like saying that. I'll see you guys later.